All right, guys, we are looking at the last couple of pages of our spring break packet. I'm going to start with a little story. When I was in college, I had a special setting on my email that made it so that before I sent any emails, I had to do a couple of little math problems to sort of prove that I was awake enough. And this like setting would come on late at night. And so that let me avoid like sending a paper in the middle of the night that I sort of edited more, right? But I was too tired. So it made me avoid sending emails that were stupid. Right now, it is late at night and I'm very tired. And there's a good chance that I'm going to make some mistakes. And I am going to open the door for you guys to come to me on Monday and say, hey, Messiah, there were these mistakes. Hopefully, I'll find them myself. But if you find them, that's also great. And I very much appreciate it. Okay. So, but I'm going to try my very best. So, looking at number 20, Naomi is the director of a new recreation center. Most of the equipment for the rec center has been donated, but the city has given Naomi $1,000 to buy any additional items that are needed. Naomi plans to invest any remaining money in a savings account. Naomi wants to buy a ping pong table for the rec center. She wants to choose the least expensive brand. She finds 3 brands that are on sale as shown in the table. So I have my table here. Which brand should Naomi buy? What is the exact sale price? Okay, cool. So she has $1,000. Great. She's going to invest any remaining money. Great. This first question actually has nothing to do with that $1,000 or an investment. Right now, I just need to find the least expensive brand of these 3. Okay. And so I have 3 percent problems here that I can do. All right. So we're just going to call them A, B, and C, just so we know. All right. So I have my OPN over here. All right. So I have 255 at 40% off. All right. And my new is question mark. So I'm going to do my original times my percent equals my new. My 255, if it's 40% off, I'm paying 60% of the price. So times 0.6. All right, so I'm going to go 255 times 0.6 is 153. So this is 153. All right, cool. Looking at B, I have 239. All right, and this is 1/4 off the regular price, so that means it's basically minus 25% to give me my new. Original times percent equals new. I'm going to go 239 times 0.75. All right, because I'm paying 75% of that price. 239 times 0.75 is going to give me 179.25. Okay, so right away, even though brand A started more expensive, it looks like it's less expensive than brand B. All right, so then I have 198 at 18% off regular price, OPN. Okay, my original is 198 minus 18% to give me my new. All right, I don't know that, so I'm going to go original times percent equals new. 198 times 82%. So that's going to be 0.82. And that's going to give me 198 times 0.82 is equal to 162.36. 162.36. So it looks like my paying 18%, having 18% off is going to make brand C at 162.36 a better buy. Now let's go down here. The sales tax in Naomi's town is 8%. what is the final cost of the ping pong table, including sales tax? Okay, so I have another OPN chart. I've already decided that 162.36 is going to be my lowest price. Let me just double check. Oh, just kidding. First mistake. Simple comparison of numbers. Okay, so let's erase that. It's like 153 was my best price here. So we're going to go 153 is my best price. All right, plus that 8% sales tax. And that's going to give me my new price. Okay, so I have my original times my percent is equal to new. So I have my 153 times 1.08, and that's going to give me my final price. The 1.08 represents the 100% plus the 8%. Is equal to 165.24. So the total price here, what is the final cost? Final cost is 165.24. All right, now let's say I really did say, hey, it's 162.36. Let's say this was the state exam. I really made that mistake. I picked the wrong one. But then I brought it down here and I found 8% of the wrong price. I would not be penalized on part B for having the wrong answer in part A. Okay, so if you feel like I have this very long math problem, but there are still parts of it that I totally understand, even if I make a mistake, that's true, right? You can still get points even if you make a mistake. And we would never dock you points for making the same mistake twice, okay? So if I had picked the wrong answer for part A, I would have lost part A's point. But if I had then taken that wrong answer and done the right thing in part B, I would have gotten part B's point. All right? Okay, looks like we are coming to the end pretty quickly here. Simplify the expression. Okay, I am simplifying an expression, and I have some distributive property here. So I'm distributing the 0.25 to the x and the negative 5. So I'm going to be left with 0.25x minus, and then 0.25 times 5 is 1.25, minus 1.25 minus 3x minus 2. All right, what can I combine? What can I combine? So, oh, I have to distribute also the negative 1. Oh man, I almost forgot to do that. Distribute the negative 1 to the negative 3x and the negative 2. So I'm left with 0.25x minus 1.25, okay, minus 3x plus 2. Okie dokie. And I'm going to circle this 0.25x and negative 3x can be combined, and then I'll put a square. My negative 1.25 can be combined with 2. So I have 0.25x and negative 3x, and when I combine them, I'm going to get negative 2.75x. And then I have negative 1.25 plus positive 2, so that I'm going to have plus 0.75. And that is my simplest form. And let me go through and double check. So I had 0.25 times x, and then 0.25 times negative 5. Perfect. Yep, distributed the negative 1, so I had negative 3x plus 2, combining 0.25x and negative 3x, and that leaves me with negative 2.75x, because that 0.25 canceled out part of that negative 3, and then I have negative 1.25x plus 2, which means I'm going to be left with a positive answer because my 2 has the greatest absolute value, and when I combine the 2 and the negative 1.25, I get 0.75. So this here is my final answer. A transportation consultant did a random sample of airline arrivals and found that 15 out of 100 arrivals were late. Based on these results, how many late arrivals would she expect to find in 64,000 flights? Okay, so let's go back and read it again. Transportation consultant did a random sample of airlines and found that 15 out of 100 arrivals, 15 out of 100 arrivals were late. Based on these results, how many late arrivals would she expect to find in 64,000 flights? Okay, so I have 64,000 late. All right, couple ways I can do this, okay? I could set up a proportion. But in this case, since I know that it's 15%, right, because 15 out of 100 is 15%, I'm going to do an OPN chart over here. Okay, and so if my original is 64,000, and I know that it's 15% of those are going to be late, then I have my sort of number of late here, okay? So my original 64,000 times 0.15, and what's that going to give me? Okay, so I have 64,000. Point. All right, and so I get 9,600. So we have 9,600, 15% of that 64,000 flights are going to be late. 23. The top of a building is 1,200 feet above the ground. The bottom of the building's foundation is 300 feet below the ground. What percent of the building's vertical length is above the ground? We're going to read that again. The bottom of a building is 1,200 feet. I'm sorry, the top of a building is 102,000 feet above the ground. The bottom of the building's foundation is 300 feet below the ground. What percent of the building's vertical length is above the ground? So I have to do two things here. First, I have to find the total vertical length of this building. Then I need to find which percent of that is above the ground, okay? So if it goes, my building here, here's my building, okay? Here's the ground, all right? And I have 300 feet here, and I have 1,200 feet here, okay? I'm not worried about the negative. I just want the total length of this building right now so that I can stick it in my OPN chart for my original, all right? And so the 1,200 plus that 300 is going to be, it's a 1,500-foot building, all right? Now, my percentage is what I don't know, okay? I know that it's 300 feet, and I want to figure out what percentage that is, which is going to give me my new of 1,200, okay? So I could do two things. I could find out what percentage of 1,500 is 300, or I could do sort of the traditional OPN where I go, okay, 1,500, all right, times P for percent is equal to 1,200. All right, and then I would divide both sides by 1,500. When I do that, it gives me, oh, it's gonna let me use the pen here. It gives me 0.8, okay, which means that the 80% of the building is above ground. 80%. Way over here, I'll put a box around it. I'm gonna have to erase most of this so I can do the work over here. Okay. 80% is above ground. Erase here. Okay. point 118, xy, appears on a coordinate graph of a proportional relationship. Which of the following is not true? Okay, cool. A, the point 0, 0 is on the graph. That is absolutely true, right? In order to be a proportional relationship, you have to pass through the origin, which is 0, 0. Now, these other points, I need to find out if they are proportional to 118, okay? And so the way I can do that, there's a couple ways. I could go 118. Does that equal 2 over 36? All right, so 18 times 2 is 36. See, I'm cross multiplying here. So yeah, 2 times 18 is 36. All right, so that is proportional. All right, is 1 over 18 equal to 4 over 72? Now let's see. 18 times 4 is 72. Yep. And then 72 times 1 is 72. I don't know what just happened. All right. Let's see about this one. Is 1 over 18 proportional to 7 over 128? All right, let's see. 18 times 7 is 126. All right. And let's try that one more time. 18 times 7 is 126. Okay, again, my computer's being funny. So this is not proportional. So this is not true because when I did 18 times 7, I got 126, and then 128 times 1 is 128. So this line doesn't fit in with us. Okay, it looks like we're nearing the end, and it looks like my computer is also nearing the end. So let's get it done. Chantel surveyed a portion of her classmates around what their favorite food is. Not written by an ELA teacher. If there are 250 students in Chantel's school, how many would you predict like pizza as a favorite food? Okay, so I have this. This is kind of my KIB here. Remember when they give us a graph, and I have 250 students at the school. Well, so first I need to find out which proportion of these guys liked pizza. Okay, so I'm going to add together because I know 12 liked pizza, but I'm going to add together to find out how many students total Shantae surveyed. So I have 12 plus 14 plus 8 plus 16, and it looks like that's 50 students. Okay. So I have a total here of 50 students. Okay, so my pizza is 12 out of 50, 50, not 500. And I want to set that equal to x over 250. All right, so then I'm left with 50x is equal to 250 times 12, 3,000. Divide both sides by 50. I would expect 60 students to like pizza. And let's go back and read it again. Chantel surveyed a portion of her classmates around what their favorite food is. Cool. Pizza, chicken, french fries, ice cream. There are 250 students. How many would you predict like pizza as their favorite food? Added these together. I had 50 total students. And so I put 12 over 50. I set that equal to x over 250. Now there aren't units here, but you should know that the top of both of these represents the guys who like pizza, right? The kids who like pizza. and the bottom represents the total. So that's why I can set that equal to a proportion, okay? And then I did 12 times 250 cross multiplied. 50x is equal to 3,000. Divide both sides by 50, so I have 60 students out of that 250 that like pizza. Another way that I can do this is I could say, okay, in order to get from 50 to 250, I multiplied by 5. All right. And so then I could say, what's 12 times 5? And that's going to give me 60. Okay. And I know some of you guys like this better. I don't dislike this way, but if you can really get used to cross multiplying and setting up equations, that's going to help you in so much math in your life. So it looks like we've come to the end of our break packet. Again, I want to apologize that these videos came out so late in the week and also kind of late at night. I hope you guys have a really great final weekend of your break, and I hope that you are really well rested and super prepared to come in and crush this ELA exam next week. I know you've all been working really hard, and I will see you Monday.